Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Halloween costume? Did you dress up?
Currently? That'd be pretty fun if we were just like on audio call but sitting here dressed up in costumes.
I'm dressed as an underpaid tech employee.
It's all about the experience, you know? We don't have to see each other to know we're in the spoopy spirit.
Yeah.
My
costume today is breadwinner.
Ooh.
Is podcaster.
Okay.
Is influencer.
Yeah, today I'm cosplaying podcaster. That's my my little treat.
Every time that I see some of the people who like take photos of the costumes at Party City and it's like content creator and it's like a fake camera, I die a little.
Yeah,
inside,
we're both
actually
holding selfie sticks right now.
You don't have to do
and
that.
Live streaming.
No.
But what if, you know?
I mean, we could. I think that that's more valuable, actually, if we're on an audio call, but we are dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah, I just think that's right.
I think that we've said this before, but it gives me hot flashes to think about every week having to do a video version of this podcast.
Yeah, I could never. I apologize to the fans, but no.
I don't know that it will ever go back to being a perk. I don't know that any amount of money would make me do that. Yeah. I have negative charisma when I have to look at a camera for this podcast. See, it's a crime.
Right. Actually. Yeah, we're getting arrested right now.
It's not funny. There's no way. And I feel bad for people that have to do it.
Yeah, for even considering.
Podcasts should be made with drawstring pants.
Yes.
With elastic.
Yes.
And without any sort of like wired outfit attire.
100%.
If you have to use any sort of like light boxes,
no, it's over. Not. Yeah, it's a hard no.
The only time that I might reconsider it is if anyone from Dropout.
Oh yes,
calls us.
100%. Yeah, we're locked in. But that's it.
Yeah, but that's it. It's the only time that I will come out of my Halloween podcast uniform and put on my professional podcast uniform.
Then and only then.
And only then. Sometimes I think about the fact that I used to go to VidCon and I died.
Yeah, that's honestly so real.
I hate it. I hate that self.
Yeah.
I value it and I love that self, but I hate that self.
Yeah, sometimes I just remember in the dead of night, and I'm like, Allie once rode in a golf cart with John Green because VidCon.
I did do that.
And that's just something that keeps me up at night.
And now he posts videos about Taylor Swift, so like my influence.
No, literally, you are. You planted the seed many years ago, and here we are. It's you and Peyton just like pulling the strings.
I know, it's not even me. It's just Peyton who does all the work.
But you were the blueprint. You set the precedent, you know. So don't let anyone take that away from you.
Thinking about it is making bile come up my throat. So, anyways, welcome into Twilight.
Ayo.
Now, my face is removed from media, but my voice is still here. You'll never get rid of me.
Don't even try it, okay?
Unless you have one of those like Publishers Clearinghouse checks with like $1 billion on it.
That's our asking price.
Cody and I will split like a good $2 million, and then the rest you can give to charity, and you will never fucking hear from us again.
It's over. It's so over.
That's our guarantee.
Sharks. Have we got any investors in the listening audience?
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, please.
Hello. What you know about Gossip Girl?
We have things to discuss, Mark.
We have. How you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while.
That is true, actually. I am chilling. My mom is here in town for her birthday, so we've been like
get her on the pod. What's her thought about Twilight?
That would be so funny if I just like she was here the whole time behind me.
Instead of you, I just talked to your mom for an hour.
Yeah, honestly, that would be a much better podcast. I feel like we'd learn a lot. I'm sure she has a lot of thoughts about the Vampire Diaries. I am chilling. I am bringing, surprise, another video game to the space. Ooh.
Okay, wait. Now, hold on.
What?
Pause.
What?
Because I literally have not stopped playing the watermelon game.
Okay.
Since I talked to you 2 weeks ago. So is this gonna fucking change my life?
No, probably not.
Am I gonna...
as bad.
Okay.
I do say, okay, also for the record, the last episode we had was wonderful, but we did have a lot of things behind the paywall because we just had a lot of things to talk about. So some of our happy things, if you missed it from last week, are on Patreon, and they're great. It's like 20 minutes of great gabbing and fun stuff. And one of those things was the watermelon game, which has now taken over and is now officially like a US available thing to purchase rather than some weird jerry rigging from the Switch store, which is great.
Which has a Halloween version.
Yes, the spoopy version's very good. And I love when every time I open my Switch, I just see like a little notification. It's like, dude, Allie's on, and she's playing the watermelon game.
It's so funny, because like every time that I turn it on too, it's like, oh, Mel's playing the watermelon game. And I'm like, I feel so supported in this community.
We're all in this community together. We're just stacking fruits. I love it. It's a very fun thing. So that's, I guess, a bonus happy thing. You're welcome, everyone. But I want to bring a game called Moonlighter.
Minecraft.
No. Oh. Stop trying to make me a Minecraft bro. Okay? I'm not Dream. All right? Relax.
Okay, what is this? What is this going to do to me
Okay. Now? This is a game I've been not knowing I needed, but I needed. Because all the cozy gamer girls on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube, whatever, love Stardew Valley, right? That's like the game. And I used to play Stardew Valley, but I could never really get into it. And I realized, and I just was like hanging out in the mines. That was my Stardew Valley gameplay. I didn't give a shit about my farm. I didn't give a shit about like any of that stuff. Or fishing, or whatever.
I know Stardew Valley because people always try to, like, use it as a dating game.
Yes, right. And there's, like, the romanceable stuff, too, is fun, or whatever. But I was just, like, I kind of like just hitting these dudes and selling stuff and donating things to the museum, right? Which is not the point of Stardew Valley, so I was not playing it very well.
That's fair.
And for years, I was like, I wish there was just a game like that looked and felt like Stardew Valley, but was not any of the shit I don't like from Stardew Valley that everyone actually gets from it. And that's Moonlighter.
Okay.
And Moonlighter is...
I'm going to be honest with you. This looks a little bit like Minecraft.
Okay, it's kind of blocky, I suppose you could say that. But it's not Minecraft. But it is very much like you fight in dungeons, you get little treats and stuff. But in the daytime, you run a store.
Damn.
And you sell things. And you try to, like, make a buck and improve the town or improve the store. And make all these little things. But at night, you're like, bam, bam,
really
I'm
pretty.
fighting, killing things for the town.
I like this little dude. This little white-haired...
He's great. He's just like
prince.
the man. He's just like the guy you are. You can put him in little armor outfits. He's got little swords. It's very cute. It's a very fun time.
I like it. I like this. I also hang out in mines a lot.
Sure, yeah.
In a very, like, Zoolander kind of way. I'm a miner.
Sure, yeah, one could say that. Yeah, that is an interpretation.
It's so pretty. What the fuck?
It is really pretty.
I'm looking at some of these photos in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very fun. It's taken a lot of my time in the same way that Stardew Valley takes a lot of other people's time. But it's the things I want. It's the condensed hack and slash version of it that I can also sell my wares and also be like a little salesman in the day and then fight things by night. It's very fun. And it's also like timed similarly to Stardew Valley, where it's like each day is like, it's kind of like a, you know, like it rolls over and stuff like that, or it feels like there's like a thing you have to do each day or whatever. And it's paced really well, but it's very easy to suck a lot of time out. But it's very fun. I'm having a good time with it.
It is unfortunately, friends, on sale until November 13th for less than $3.
Hell yeah, then do
Switch.
Do it. What's stopping you?
That's... I don't like it when you bring games to this show.
I'm sorry, okay?
Because you bring games that I like
yeah.
that aren't like first-person shooters and have lots of blood. They're just like cozy shit that I like.
Yeah.
And then I buy them and I like them and I play them.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. It is also, it's a very frustrating game too, because like sometimes it's very, like the mines and stuff are hard or whatever, and also you could just lose all your shit, like if you die or whatever. So you also have to be strategic of like, do you just zap yourself home, or do you like stock up on potions, or like yada yada yada, or like improve your armor or whatever. So there's a lot of things like that. It's like, very frustrating, and being like, goddamn, all this loot I had, it's gone.
Cool.
But it's fun.
Okay.
I recommend.
Shit.
How are you doing?
I have a game that I'm going to now play today.
Hell fucking yeah.
$3?
Yeah.
I can spend $3.
You can't say no to that.
I unfortunately can't say no to that. I have a happy thing today that I'm going to bring to space. Everyone knows by now that I'm not trendy.
Sure.
That I'm aware of trends, but I take my time.
Yeah. You warm up
like
to them, you know?
Things.
Yeah.
I need to go at my own pace, because sometimes everyone says stuff's good and I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Or I get afraid and it's like everyone says this thing's good and then it gets canceled and I get scared.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to love something and then it's going to go away. I don't want to fucking hear it from you all. I talked to my therapist about it.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
I don't want to fucking hear it from you all. But my thing, I started this, God, when did I text you about it? A couple months ago. God. And then I've decided to get back. I started it a couple months ago and I got an ick from it because of one specific character. But then I came back to it because everyone said you kind of have to ignore season 1. Yeah. So I said, all right, fine. I'm going to push through. My happy thing is Gossip Girl.
Fuck. Yes, finally. God damn.
I finally, and I'm not just going to talk about Gossip Girl because I'm not all the way through, so don't spoil anything. I mean, listen. I know who Mr. Go Piss Girl is. Okay, so like I know.
Don't worry about it.
I know. You don't have to spoil that for me. I know. But my specific happy thing is that I finally understand the context of the titular Thanksgiving episode.
God, it's so important.
And I know now, because I'm halfway through season 3, that, like, Thanksgiving episodes are important to the show for whatever fucking reason. Like, Blair likes Thanksgiving, which is weird. So it's important to the show. But now I understand the episode. Yeah. Capital T, capital E, the episode. I had been texting you about this show when I started to get back into it. And I was like, okay, I'm pushing through season 1 because... Listen, when I had first started this before, I was like, I don't understand why you guys like this. Chuck is like, not only gross, but like a criminal. Right. I can't just evil. Yeah. Fundamentally evil. And then I saw enough people say like, you need to get through season 1 and then they actually start developing these characters. And I said, okay, fine. And I agree. Right. I agree. I understand now. I trust the process now. But when I finally started getting into the good shit in season 3, I stopped texting you this past week. Because previously I had been texting you of like, sorry, so-and-so is in this show. Yeah, it's a lot of jump scares. Like Kristen Britter and Aaron Tveit and Armie Hammer, terrifying, hated that. Yeah. But then season 3 happened and love of my life, Hilary Duff happened.
God, she's so important.
And... I'm almost glad. There are a lot of shows that I hadn't watched in this time period, which was like late middle school, early high school, because spoiler alert for people who don't know my lore, I almost literally died, like literally almost died. So there wasn't a lot of like shows that I was happening, or like shows that were happening during this time that I watched, because like, hi, I was dying.
Yeah. Shit happens.
So I didn't know a lot of this. Listen, life happens. So there was a lot of like lore that happened in this time period that I'm catching up with now, which is valuable because like the Vampire Diaries.
Right.
I'm also considering this back research for the CW too. So it's
all connected.
Tangential to the show.
This is work
Everyone
you're doing.
shut up. I'm doing journalism. Everyone shut up. I'm understanding their music budget. I'm almost grateful that I didn't watch this when I was a high schooler and I have a fully developed brain, because if I had known back then that Hilary Duff, who I had a crush on, Penn Badgley, who I didn't know then but is so literally my type, were part of a threesome with Vanessa, I had watched that in a house that I was not literally safe in, I would have been shot into the sun and found out that I was bi before it was too safe for me to know what that was. Cody, why didn't you, first of all, fuck you for not telling me that there was a threesome scene.
I'm not gonna spoil you on the beautiful things that
with
happen.
Mr. Go Piss Girl himself. Are you kidding me?
Listen, you gotta be in for the ride.
Mr. Oh, I'm an outsider. I'm not rich. And then he turns into like, Mr. Fuck you, I'm rich. I take limos instead of the subway.
Yeah.
I have threesomes now. This Thanksgiving episode scene is the most important thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know why they chose this music, but I'm so grateful that they did.
Of course they did. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Why this and the OC, I think, was the other one that chose this song. The like gun scene,
right.
I think it is. I haven't seen that show either. I just know it from SNL. Yeah. It's on my list. I can hear you all fucking typing right now. Shut up. It's on my list.
I'm working on it, okay?
I'm trying to, this is me connecting with my inner teenager, okay? I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's a process, all right?
Anyways, my final thoughts are, Serena's great.
Yeah.
She's fucked up, but she's the best character. I thought Blair was supposed to be Miss It Girl. She's so embarrassing.
Yeah. It is, her whole thing is very cringe, but it's beautiful.
And Cody and I have been texting about this, but I will just say it for the show, so it's on record. Nate and Chuck they're in love.
They're gay. And it's beautiful.
Just let them love each other. Yeah. I've gotten to the episode where Chuck says, Blair, you think this is the first time I've kissed a guy? Hello? Hello? Okay.
The homoerotic tensions is bananas.
He is, unfortunately, Chuck is not a good guy.
Yeah.
He's not a good guy. But I understand him now. They're actually developing him as a character. I get it, okay? Fuck you all. I get it.
I get it. We were all right.
I get it.
And it's okay. We're glad you're here. We're happy you're here. I cannot wait for minute-by-minute updates because I am so excited for you on this journey.
And I will say, it's helping me to understand the time period that the Vampire Diaries came out.
Yeah, 100%.
CW at this time period. Mm-hmm. It is valuable research that I'm doing.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. It's part of the research that I'm doing. So it's connected.
Hell yeah.
We have 2 pieces of valuable current events
we do
to talk about this week.
Yes.
You might think they're not connected, but they're connected to the show.
Yeah. So,
where do you want to start? You want to talk about movies? Or you want to talk about movies?
It's been a while since we've had an RPAT's news corner, I feel.
Yeah.
Outside of good outfits.
Suspiciously quiet.
Yeah. He's making moves in the periphery, all right? We have to respect it.
He's been booked and busy.
Right.
Apparently with this character who looks related to me.
That's actually so real.
Someone who has my hair, my eyes, and my eyebrows. So what the fuck is this?
So that's fun. Okay. the king is back, right? He keeps saying he's leaving, and he's not. And I love it so much.
And by the king, we're talking, obviously, about Dave Bautista.
Okay, also that. But Hayao Miyazaki's back. His new movie, Boy and the Heron, which he says is his last one, but it's not going to be his last one, is coming out in December. Teasing. But we got, in the last week or so, the official English dub cast, which usually go pretty hard for Miyazaki movies.
Oh, hell yeah, they do.
They're one. I grew up on a lot of the English cast and stuff when I was in the versions of these movies and stuff, and they always go bananas for good reason, because obviously there's a lot of notoriety here. And one of which is our boy, Robert Pattinson. Obsessed.
I feel like the English dubs for Studio Ghibli movies are like sought after.
Yeah.
Like, if I was a famous actor, that would be like the first thing I would tell my agent. Like, if you hear whispers, get me on that right now.
Like, fucking Oscar campaign. I don't give a shit. Like, get me in this room.
I don't give a shit.
Okay. Because then you also got,
I don't care.
OG English dub cast for Studio Ghibli films. Christian Bale's back, baby. We're so back. We've never been more back. We also got Dave Bautista. Huge, wonderful. Willem Dafoe.
Noted co-worker.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe.
Noted co-worker to the show. Noted producer of the show, Willem Dafoe. Mark Hamill. Florence Pugh. Hello? Hello? It's fucked up.
Also, they're also notable to this. Gemma Chan.
Oh, yeah. So important.
Dan Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I didn't make enough on the fucking Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
That didn't go over well. So I gotta get in on this while the money's hot.
God.
Well, okay. So I just want to spend a second on this because the English dubs of Studio Ghibli movies are my Roman Empire.
Yes.
To simple this down for layman terms. Thinking about two of my favorites, Ponyo and Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
So Ponyo English dub, Liam Neeson.
Yep.
Noah Cyrus.
So important.
Tina Fey.
Oh my god.
Betty White. Kate Blanchett.
Incredible.
Matt Damon, Frankie Jonas.
Imagine
that dinner table.
That's a dream blunt rotation minus Frankie Jonas.
And also Kiki's Delivery Service, standout for this, had Kirsten Dunst.
Mm-hmm.
And love of my life, Matthew Lawrence, who was in Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, if I got famous, this would be what I would want to do. Because they always have these things in movie theaters. This is where the, residuals have to be.
Yeah, for sure.
They've got to be. They're always... I feel like when I had the AMC... what is it? The AMC Gold Star?
The
whatever
A-list
the fuck it's called.
thing?
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
The AMC red carpet, whatever the fuck it's called.
They rolled you down a red carpet every time you went inside.
I feel like every year they put one of those in there.
Yeah.
So it's a great choice.
That's where the money is.
It's a great fit.
And we love to see
It's got to be. I'm so proud. I'm also very proud to have personal representation.
Right.
Of someone. I rarely see someone who looks like me in media. It's just this boy and season 1 Mike from Stranger Things. Just every dark feature that you can think of.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally.
Is it really his first feature film in 10 years? That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
That's wild. Anyways, I'm really excited. I really love Studio Ghibli movies, so.
Yeah.
Great
Shout out to our boy. Making moves.
Making moves. Every time he's like, I'm done, I'm out. And he's never out.
No.
Homeboy's been working on this for 2 years at least. Animation takes forever. Yeah. Maybe he got bored in 2020,
Yeah, hey.
It's just not everyone can drop an album
right
in a couple months, you know.
Right.
Animation takes a little bit longer.
It's a little long, yeah.
Could you take us to this is a dusty corner, perhaps a new corner that we found.
Dusty new corner.
A new dusty corner. Could you take us to the Sofia Coppola corner?
Welcome to probably the first and last installment of the Sofia Coppola corner of this podcast.
We're just dusting off a shelf, actually,
Yeah,
for her.
right.
Just a special
Just
one
in case it ever becomes relevant, you know, and turns out it is relevant to this podcast. Because obviously there's a lot of, you know, hustle and bustle about Elvis, Priscilla, the movie about Elvis that Sofia Coppola did. And there's a lot of press, there's a lot of interviews, a lot of long-standing things. And this interview at Rolling Stone, thank you, Brian Hyatt, thank you for your service, had this like wide-ranging interview with Sofia Coppola. And throughout this, revealed that she was originally intended to direct Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
First of all, that they wanted to split.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to split it.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
What?
Right. Yeah. Hello.
Because that seems like such a strong artist. Like, from a scheduling standpoint, what?
Right.
That seems wild. Second of all, what?
Could you imagine the universe we would be living in right now? Everything would be different, I feel.
Oh my god, yeah. Everything.
And her response to this is so wonderful. It's burned into my brain. Of being like, hey, you know, you had a meeting to talk about directing this. Like, you know, what happened with all that? And she was like, you know, it never really went anywhere. And also, I thought that shit was wild as fuck. It's like the imprinting was weird. The baby was weird. There's a lot of things he could have done with Twilight earlier on that maybe would have been my vibe in like a teen romance kind of way. But by the time we get to the end, it's a little too weird for me, which I have to respect. I have to stand. Goddamn.
Okay, all right. So, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, naturally.
about the artistic vision that you imagine. Like, just sit with me in this space.
Sure.
For a second. If this would have happened, right? Would we still, like, do you imagine that Breaking Dawn Part 2 would be more along the lines of, like, Lost in Translation? Or do you think you would be more along the lines of, like, Frankenweenie?
Frankenweenie. The two pillars of cinema. Yeah, for sure.
It's just, like, the real binary. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, there's really only...
You're either one or the other, for sure.
Or let me give you an easier question, I guess. Do you think that she would have insisted the way that, I want to say it was Bill... please cut me typing out. Yeah, Bill Condon, thank you.
Yeah.
That Bill did. Do you think that Sofia would have insisted the way Bill Condon did to use 1,000 years?
Oh, 100%.
In Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I'm sure that needle drop would be...
Oh my god.
Everything would be so different. And I don't know if that world would be better. But I think it would be different. And I think it's worth exploring the ramifications of this.
It would be everything. It's just hard to imagine, I think, for me, what, like, would Bill have done Part 1?
Right.
Or would she have done both? Because I do think that she could have done both.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. I mean, I'm thinking about this time period, right? Because this came out, it would have been slotted right before the Bling Ring.
Oh my god.
Right? Because she did the Bling Ring in 2013.
Yeah.
So if you think about like her feature films, right? It would have been, oh god, the most notable ones, I'll say, like most notable pop culture ones. We have Marie Antoinette, 2006. I am not as familiar with Somewhere. And then 2013, The Bling Ring. Yeah. So Marie Antoinette, Breaking Dawn Part 1, Part 2, because I don't think you can separate. I think that's a wild choice. Yeah. And then The Bling Ring. Yeah. What the fuck? The girlies would have lost.
It would have been such a rap sheet.
Would have been different. And it was already terrifying. Yeah. Like, that was already a scary time to live in. The death scene, her death scene.
God. Oh my god.
Oh
what she would have done with that.
There are a lot of people on TikTok right now who are taking the Twilight saga and using AI to make it like a vertical film.
I love the youth.
I love the youth. If someone could please just give me like a mock-up of Sofia Coppola, like Breaking Dawn in the tone of Sofia Coppola, I would love to see it.
We just need to know what would that even look like? Because it's even hard to comprehend.
I just don't. I want it. I think I need it, but I don't know how much I need it, is the thing.
Yeah, and I just need to be sure.
And I think that she's fair for being like, that's weird, that's not my truth.
Absolutely.
And I think she's valid for that. But I just need to know that Bill was the right nasty mastermind.
I need to make sure that society did make the right choice with this one. So otherwise it'll haunt me forever.
That the butterfly effect was right. Yeah. Fuck me, dude. Yeah. Oh, no.
Bananas.
Also, I am really excited to see Priscilla Bennett.
Yeah, it does look phenomenal.
I didn't see the scary Austin Butler one. Just because I saw enough of it on Twitter that it gave me, like, my Benadryl Hat Man became Austin Butler.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm very excited to see Priscilla. Yeah. And I was not expecting to get, like, the Jacob became hot. Jacob. Because, like, Euphoria did him dirt. Like, I kind of wanted to punch him a little bit after watching Euphoria. And by a little, I mean, like, a lot. But what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's just that large man.
That's her genius, you know? Okay. Are you ready?
Fuck. It's go time.
Okay. So, here's what you missed on Glee. Last week, we had football. And the nasty football coach, fucking Trunchbull, what's his name? got. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Rip.
Rip. There's a really important drug that came up last week that's going to be important for you all to remember. It's vervain.
Yep. Very important.
It looks like lavender. That's helpful for you to know. But it's important this week. And what was the other thing that came up in the recap that was really helpful? I think that was it. I think those were the two important. That's what you missed on Glee. How did you feel? Episode 4, Family Ties.
I mean, it's I guess we're done to say things are heating up, because things have been heating up at a very exorbitant rate as of late. But I think we're getting a lot more important backstory, which is important.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are, like, clicking in a way, and, like, the tensions are building up in a way that's like, okay, I can see where we may be heading in this sort of situation. So that was fun.
The other thing, I guess that's important from last week, is Elena She invited Damon into her home, not realizing that Damon's like a jealous little slut.
Right.
And was going to effectively like mess up her sleep cycle.
Yeah.
So if she was like wearing an Apple Watch right now, her Apple Watch would be like, hey girl, you didn't sleep well last night.
Yeah.
So this like starts off with her waking up really scared. The hallway lights are on, which like, Damon, we're in a recession. Can you respect electricity?
Right, come on now.
But he's like, he must be bored because he's like playing with shadows. He's making her dream of herself dying.
Yeah, she sees herself on the news. It's like, she's dead by that animal. And she's like, what? Me? That's my face.
Not me.
It's like, why do they use this like low-res photo of me that's also like widened out and stretched so much to fit this TV screen in my dream? I hate it.
And I think what I got from this anyways is that he was doing it to both her and Stefan.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me too.
Okay. But here's my question. Vampires can dream? Vampires need sleep too?
That is a good question. Yeah, I feel like there's still a lot of kinks in the lore here. That
everybody poops? Like, right. What?
Come on now.
Does he only get sweepy when he needs blood? Like, what is this?
Like, what's going on?
I feel like, because, listen, this was a shocker to me. We do talk about lore,
right?
Vampire lore, pretty soon into this episode. Yeah. But I feel like that's the whole thing. When you're immortal, you don't need to sleep anymore. Yeah. But he gets sweepy?
Right. It seemed like he was a little sweepy, so.
And I know, I mean, listen, okay, so there is a bonus, Jonas, coming out this soon that does talk about Interview with the Vampire. Highly recommend listening to it.
Yeah.
They do have coffins there. I always thought that was just like meditation time. You know, like just recharge my bones.
I just need a minute to dip, like, you know.
Listen to like Calm or whatever the fuck, you know? Go into my like mind palace or whatever. Yeah. But do they need to sweep? I have so many questions. I'm gonna channel someone. Where's my Ouija board? I need to get Anne Rice on the Ouija board right now.
We need answers, okay? Fuck.
I have questions. I just don't know how anyone wants me to believe that these two don't, and I'm referring to Stefan and Damon here, obviously, don't fuck when there's knife play 2 seconds into this episode.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
The girlies in 2009 had to just be losing it on forums. Oh my god! You know,
the GIFs made of this, I'm sure were.
Oh no!
Wild. And apparently, you know, Damon's like, "Hey, bestie, good morning. Have a nice little dream." That was totally fun and cool. Also, by the way, they totally caught that wild animal that was killing everybody.
Wink.
So we're good. And Stefan's like, "What the fuck is your problem, dude? What is your... Are you trying to cover up your tracks? What's your deal? You're so annoying. Stop trying to make my life a living hell for eternity." And he's like, "I kind of want to do that still, so I'm going to stick around a little bit. Ding. You love your brother."
So here's my question, right? First of all, we do find out, very important and timely, I will say, we find out that Damon listens to Taylor Swift.
That's very important to note here. Yeah.
Important, timely, critical news. Yeah. But when he's telling Stefan this, he says that, and we find out, he says like, "Oh, they caught this animal," right? And then we hear later on the news. Yeah. The news that there is a 12-foot mountain lion that was killed.
Sure.
First of all, rude.
Yeah.
First of all, rude. Yeah. I Googled. Thank you, Google. I Googled, does Virginia have mountain lions? And it's very important that you all remember that we are in Virginia this episode. It comes up a lot with the Civil War and the racism. Right. Please, I need you. It's so critical. Write it on your hand. Write it somewhere. We are in Virginia. It's so important. I Googled. So according to the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources, there are no mountain lions. in Virginia. The last one, Cody, the last mountain lion in Virginia killed 1882.
Oh my god.
It served in the Civil War, I think.
Yeah, Damon brought it back from the Civil War. This was a pet. A 12-foot pet. Just to hang out with.
So if it wasn't a mountain lion, 12 feet, by the way, no joke, huge.
Right.
Terrifying.
That's very large.
I think they killed Bigfoot. What was it? What was this 12-foot fucking animal?
Yeah, I think we're all being distracted by an animal killing people, that we fail to see the real question here, which is, I think there's Bigfoot in Virginia.
I think...
And you got him.
And
You even stopped to think.
Most importantly, the sheriff can't tell the difference between a fucking cougar, right? Cougars, mountain lions, pumas.
Right.
They're all fairly interchangeable.
Sure.
Between that and fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Bipedal. Hello?
Goddamn.
I don't think that they go down that far. We used to have mountain lion, like our schools, by the way. This is such a Pacific Northwest thing. Our schools used to be closed or have a delay because we used to have mountain lions come near our school.
What?
Back in my day.
Yeah. Old man yells at cloud.
I don't think they go down.
You don't know anything about mountain lions.
I don't think they go down to Virginia that far.
God damn.
Anyways.
Wow.
So let's go back to fucking Emo McGee here. Stefan writing in his journal saying, "How do I stop the monster without becoming
right?
one?"
Me. I don't want to drink human blood. Meh. But also, my brother is way too powerful and cool. Fuck, it's the worst day of my life.
He's just so pretty, and he wears designer clothes.
God, he's got spiky hair, but it's long, so it's cool. Fuck. Also, this is a sidebar, but like they're all preparing for this like gala, right? That becomes very relevant. But like before then, because Damon's also like, haha, you may have like, you know, Elena may have this little ring or whatever, or this jewelry thing that like prevents me from compulsing or using compulsion. But I also have Riz, and I'm charming as fuck. So I don't need like the compulsion. I could just be suave and charming. And there's this moment where he's like chilling with, what's her name? Blondie.
Caroline.
Caroline, yes. And she's like picking out outfits for this gala or whatever. And she's wearing it. She like holds up a yellow dress, or is wearing one, and trying it on. And he looks at her face and says it looks like she has jaundice, which is so.
Oh my god! This scene is so important.
I screamed. I took a lap. I was so fucked up.
This scene felt like I was solar powered. Like I could just do anything ever. Because before we get to that scene, there's just like this little blip where, first of all, we get reminded that Jenna exists.
Right. Yes. Welcome back, Jenna.
And we find out this moment, which is important at the end of the episode, that Jenna, the aunt, moves away because of Logan, local news anchor.
Yeah.
And the main whole thing of this episode is that everyone in the town is going to this founders party, which is the most racist thing I've ever heard of. So there's this like council called the Founders Council, which is apparently all of these like founding families who've lived here forever. Sounds like my fucking nightmare. Because they're in Virginia. And so Elena's like pulling all these family heirlooms that they have to loan for the party. Sounds like a way to have a lot of haunted energy there, but that's just me. So, cool. Great. And poor Caroline is hanging out with Damon. I thought this was a weekend because it's like daylight, and like Caroline is hanging out with Damon. Yeah. Stefan goes over and is like sucking face with Elena. Whatever.
None of them are at school.
None of them are at school. And we find out that this is so our worlds are crossing. Yeah. Damon is reading a Twilight book. All we know is that he's not reading the first one. Yeah. Because Caroline is like, I don't understand why you're you're judging these books, but you need to read the first one.
Right. You need to read them in order, like, buddy.
You need to read them in order, you illiterate fool. Because he's like, I don't understand why the fuck, why does Bella have all this riz? Like, Edward's so whipped. And then he, like, glances up for a second and says that thing about the jaundice. And listen, he's not wrong. Caroline should wear a blue dress.
Right.
It would look better on her, but he doesn't need to be so rude about it.
Fucked up.
And she says, so out of pocket, she's like, I can't invite you to the founders party because my mom is a, quote, very proud gun owner.
Ooh. Fun.
Ew.
Cool.
Gross.
Great.
Also unsurprising that someone would go to a founders party in Virginia and be a very proud gun owner. Yep. I digress. Mm-hmm. And then Damon is like, okay, whatever. Change your dress. You're gross. Yeah. Also invite me to this party and look straight at her using compulsion. Yeah. And then he goes on and starts talking about our girl, Anne Rice, and is like, these stupid books. They don't get it. Anne Rice got it. But thankfully, Caroline asked the important question. She's like, why don't you sparkle? Mm. Which is very important. But he's like, Caroline, obviously, I have a ring. I don't need to sparkle. Yeah. These don't follow the lore. The lore doesn't make sense here.
Right. I'm actually way cooler and stronger than Edward.
Yeah.
I don't need that. Okay.
Thankfully, though, and I'm glad, it took her a while, but she does ask a very important question, which is, because we see, like, she not only has the neck bite, right, which is not doing well. It's not as bad as it was last time, but it's still not doing well. But when she's changing, we see that she has bites, like, on her shoulder and on her back and stuff, too. Yeah. And she asks, naturally, she's like, will I become a vampire?
It's a very important clarifying question. I'm shocked we didn't get it here earlier, but...
Would have been one of the first things I asked.
Yeah. The number one thing, I feel.
And Damon says that she would have to feed on his blood, die, then feed on a human.
Sure. Right? You know.
And he says, it's not going to happen for you because I'm going to get bored of you before that happens.
Right. It's like, sorry, babe. You're just hanging out, and that's fine. But we're not going to do all that, you know?
Yeah. Ooh. You're essentially just my entertainment.
It's actually, like, really tedious to do all that, and I'm lazy, and I don't want to do that. So we can just vibe. Huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Here's my question for you. How are Caroline, Bonnie, and Jeremy able to go to the Mystic Grill every day when we're in a recession?
Right. They're there all the time.
It's 2009.
They're there.
Like, every day, at least for Jeremy.
Yeah, it's especially for Jeremy. They're running up that tab for sure.
And at least, like, I think we've seen Jeremy mostly with, like, water. Like, he usually just gets, like, a liquid. Yeah. But we've seen Caroline and Bonnie get food
full meals.
There.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Also,
How's that?
This Bonnie Caroline conversation is very funny because, you know, Bonnie's concerned and it's like, hey, you should, you know, tell that secret about Stefan because Elena might get hurt, blah, blah, blah. And then Caroline's, you know, all these different things. And at one point, this line was so important to me. Caroline asks Bonnie says something. I'm not sure what exactly this was in reference to because I was so stunned by the sentence. Caroline asked Bonnie if that was, quote, an official witch Twitter tweet.
Me.
It's so good.
Bonnie and I follow the same people.
Yeah, and Bonnie's like, first of all, stop calling me a witch, okay? Like, there's a lot of things.
Yeah, don't just say that out loud.
Yeah, or silence. We're in public, okay? Can we just relax here? But that string of words is very important to me. Like, why call it a Twitter tweet?
You were going to say.
I just said a tweet. You could have said a witch tweet.
I thought you were going to say the other parts of their dialogue, which is that they reference Damon as he's older, sexy, danger guy.
Okay, that's also... That's true.
And that he has, quote, like major deep-rooted trauma.
Period. So real.
Which is, the those two sentences really just sum up the whole fucking
There's
thing.
so much poetry between these women. I love it.
This is why I love teenage girls.
Yeah.
They get it.
Yep.
They get all of it.
They're reading the room. They're picking up the vibe, and I appreciate it.
I want to know what Stefan studied at Harvard in the 70s. When are we going to find that out?
What the fuck was up with that? Well, that was a wild drop. And also, Damon brings up an important question too. Is like, why the fuck were we doing high school? Like, we weren't. Stefan did Harvard for a second. We could have different lives, and now we're just here eternally in high school. Bad rap. Not very fun. But yeah, I am curious.
Especially when in a college, you can be any age.
Right. Yeah. Way less conspicuous, y'all.
Right. Why are you 30? Why do you look 30? Right? You're immortal. Like, you're 100 plus years old. But why do you look 30 in a place where everyone is a minor? Mm-hmm. What's up with that?
Yeah.
We haven't touched on the fact that, so Zach, who's supposed to be their, quote, uncle, right? Called them uncle a few episodes ago. But poor thing, Zach is so scared of Damon.
Yes.
Understandably. Every possible chance, Damon just has homeboy in a chokehold. Also, he is growing
weed. Just kidding. Yeah.
just like thousands of dollars of weed in this castle.
As you do, you know?
But it looks like lavender, which is beautiful.
Yeah. He's got to make a living, you know?
He's just, it's a living, you know what I mean?
It's so funny, too, because Stefan's like, aw, I only had this much for the ring. I don't have any more of this magic juice or whatever. This magic plant that'll make this, Damon a lot less powerful than he is. And I won't do human blood. Meh. My life sucks. And fucking uncle, cousin, nephew, whatever the fuck. It's like, hey, motherfucker, I've been growing this forever, you idiot. Like, think about it, alright? I'm trying to help you. Goddamn.
Yeah, and we find out, too, that Damon stopped the growing of vervain in 1865.
Yeah.
Which, they just keep dropping this lore.
So many dates.
And I do hope that they come back to it at some point. Yeah. I feel like, with the amount of dates they keep doing, I feel like I'm going to get fucking quizzed or something.
There is a test at the end of this, so we gotta study up.
So some new characters that were introduced this episode. I don't think that the mayor is new. I feel like we've seen him before.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point. But the mayor is important. Tyler's mom is new. And I didn't think, for the most part, she was important. I just thought that she was here to be like a bitch to Vicky. But she is important by the end of this. And of course, she's on the council.
Yeah, right.
Gross. There's this minor moment where Damon is apparently telling more lies. I think this is a lie, but honestly, it could be true. I don't know, who's to say. Yeah. That Catherine, Elena's doppelganger. I don't know if it's
what else? How else do we describe her? Yeah.
I don't know if it's descendant. I don't know what they're trying to go with here. But apparently in the past was with Damon. And Stefan was just so jealous. Yeah. Is this the first time that we've seen Stefan with the shoulder tattoo?
I was gonna say, I think it must be. Because I don't remember if we've seen him in a tank top before this.
Could you tell what it was? I couldn't.
No, I could not see it. I tried to make it so bright, and I was like, I can't. I cannot differentiate anything.
I just, knowing him, I know that it was kind of like a circle thing, but I was like, I bet it's like some rose or like a koi fish or something. Just like, so gross. This is where I'm going to need like someone with like sibling history here to confirm. When Elena storms into Jeremy's room and in the same motion smacks the headphones off of him, is that correct? Is that true?
Yeah, so that's how siblings be. You know, that's just...
Okay.
Also, hold up. I did a pivot. I did look up the tattoo. It is a rose. You were right.
Oh my god!
And apparently, according to Reddit, and I've only just scanned this, so I'm not sure if this is real, but allegedly, the actor already had the tattoo, and the producers just try to work it into the story rather than cover it up every time. But we'll see.
He
allegedly.
would have a rose.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's just so ew.
God.
I just know it. He's just such a like softie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, ugh. Okay. Anyways, every time that I saw Jeremy, I wrote down a note with a sad face next to it.
Yeah. He just wants his
he's just such a
dad's pocket watch.
He just like doesn't want. He just wants to be loved. Also, it turns out that he's fucking smart because apparently it has like magical. I don't know what it is. But apparently it has something.
Yeah. He sends something for sure.
It has something that like kills vampires. I don't know what it is, but he was smart to keep it. So, that's great. This party's so creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like
it.
The
vibes are really bad.
It feels like fucking Get Out. Yeah. I don't like it. I will say the part that I wrote down that I really liked was that Elena had the bump in her hair.
God, yeah.
That felt historically accurate.
Right. Absolutely.
So I love that. I don't understand why Caroline's mom is a sheriff.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. But okay. I mean, I guess someone has to in this town, but I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I understand now by the end of the episode why Logan exists, but I was not a fan of the Jenna Logan situation.
Like I get his role here, but it just felt like such a weird side plot that was like, okay, scorned lover, whatever, like, okay.
Yeah, I was not amused or interested in it. So they've mentioned Caroline's death now in like snippets.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like we got first she died.
Right.
Then she died in a chair in a fire.
Yeah.
And then in this she died during the Battle of Willow Creek in a church.
Yeah.
What she was Union, or at least they said Union sympathizer.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Good. I mean, the bar is so low. The bar's
on the floor. Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right. I wrote down a lot during the party that I just wanted to be Bonnie's friend.
Yeah. She's so real. She's too good.
Everyone brought a date, and I was like, Bonnie, just let me be your friend. I'll hang out with you.
Please, let's light candles together and talk.
Please. I felt really bad for Vicky in this. Especially when it's like Tyler and Tyler's mom keep making her out to be this like harlot. Mm-hmm. And for what? Like,
yeah, like come on now.
She has a job because she has a job.
Yeah.
Because she almost died? For what? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I felt bad about that.
Yeah, understandable.
I'm curious to know your thoughts on the end of this when it was clear that Stefan was going to try and get Damon.
Yeah. I mean, Stefan's finally playing a little bit of six-dimensional chess here. Fucking finally! Like, goddamn. Because he tried earlier of like, I'm just gonna spike his drink. And Damon's like, fuck you. I know what you're doing. Eat shit. You're never gonna take me. And so finally, Stefan's like, ooh, I have an idea. What if I spike Carolyn's drink? Because I know Damon's gonna be so horny that he's gonna want to suck that blood. And then bam.
Right.
Out. And it fucking works.
It's so typical of a party like this that they're going to serve minors champagne.
Yeah.
And so as soon as he grabbed those, I was like, oh, okay, I know what Stefan's doing here. Yeah. And it's smart. It's smart. Like, we very much saw this in Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
That if you can't get Damon to drink it outright, then you sometimes you just gotta spike the food.
Yeah.
Which, listen, it's not good, right, but it works. Yeah. I'm glad that Elena finally saw Caroline's bites.
Yeah.
Because,
and that whole last scene was
not great.
Woof. Because Elena's like, what the fuck happened? Like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm so good. I'm like through tears. Like, everything's so sick. And I was like, oh man, that was brutal.
It's so bad. One moment that I wrote down that I thought was really funny is like when Stefan, I wrote down Stefan is a loner just chilling by the fountain. Because, like, what is this dude doing? But I'm glad that it worked. I'm glad that that they just like locked him up with the weed. It's not weed. It's just vervain. But like, what are you doing? Yeah. I want to know what that fucking crystal is, though.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
What is that? What's that? Why did Damon know where that was?
Yeah.
First of all, because we saw something earlier on that Elena was like, that's weird, but not weird enough to be like her survival instincts. Not great.
Yeah.
Because if I saw Damon Salvatore and Stefan Salvatore on a like 1800s document after all these fucky things had been happening since they showed up.
Yeah.
I don't know that the first thing that I would go to is like, oh, my ancestors had the same name.
Right. Like, it's such a weird... It's like, oh, how funny. There was also brothers that had our exact same name that we
Those were the
descended
OG ones.
from. And it's like, you could have made up anything else, I feel like, in a way that should have been a little more, like, interesting. Not sure if I believe that, but okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, Elena. That doesn't actually say Damon Salvatore. That says Jamin.
Right.
That's Jamin, actually.
Yeah, I feel like
you just can't read
Jamin would have been more believable. Yeah, that's my great peepaw, Jamin.
Oh, God.
That's where I get my name from. It was the more popular version, spelling of the name in the 1800s. Believe it or not.
Right.
Jamin.
Yeah, sorry, Elena. You need to pay attention in history with our new history teacher that comes in.
Yeah.
I will say I am proud of her, though. She does say to Stefan that trust is earned.
Yup. Finally, girl, stand up. Stand up.
Good job.
Okay.
So good on her for that. And then Stefan, naturally, in his response, says, I got a blast. So great. The ending of this, I will say, unfortunately, reminded me a lot of Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing, because I'll stand. If there's one fan of Teen Wolf, it's me.
If there's zero, I'm dead.
If there's no fans of Teen Wolf, I'm dead. Unfortunately. Because of course there's a vampire committee. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, God. Hell fucking yeah.
Of the founders?
Hell fucking yeah.
Of course there's a vampire committee.
Yeah, you think you guys can just like run amok and not go unnoticed? Get out of here.
So it's Caroline's mom.
Fuck yeah.
The sheriff.
Yeah.
I'm never going to forget ACAB
right.
for life. Mayor Lockwood, who's apparently his name is Charles. I looked that up.
Cool.
Under the trivia section. Also, under the trivia section, the actress who plays Caroline's mom, she was also the mom in Kyle XY.
Whoa.
Not going to forget that.
Okay.
It's all connected.
Okay.
Tyler's mom and Logan.
Yeah.
Mr. Cheese Fries, cheater himself. So
amazing. What a crew.
But they wanted the pocket watch. That's why Tyler's mom kept harping on it. But Jeremy has it. He's just currently preoccupied having relations with Vicky right now.
Amazing.
I'm stressed.
Yeah, I'm freaking out.
I'm freaking out. I'm worried about Caroline. I want to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
I'm ride or die for Bonnie always, forever.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. Are they just going to keep Damon down in the weed room? He doesn't die. So, like...
Yeah, so he's just gonna, like, chill out there. Like, you're in baby jail. You need to
Think he can't break through... You think he can't break through stone?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Come on now. That can't last forever, my dude.
No. Next week's episode 5 is titled You're Undead to Me.
Heyo. Nice, dude.
Interesting. We have some amazing patrons to thank.
Hell yeah.
Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Karp.
Oh, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ooh, thank you to Shannon Clearwater.
Ooh, thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Pew, pew. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, I have a fan fiction for you today.
Wow, brave, inspired.
Thank you. I found it myself.
Amazing.
I'm having to go back to what I did for Vampire Academy. Oh no, all the words are running together. Of having to go oldest to newest, so I don't run into spoilers. But that's okay.
Amazing.
This is by the author Entangled Now, and it's titled Civilized.
Okay.
It has 3,000 words. I will read them all for you right now. Okay. This is just all one chapter. And it stars Damon and Stefan.
Okay.
Okay. Damon watches anger chase misery across his brother's face, watches it, and could have quite happily drowned in it because it's so perfect. He has no idea why he didn't push exactly like this before. The conflict is beautiful, and Damon decides that every time he pressed in close, every time he slid into Stefan's personal space and teased him, it was a waste. Always a waste. Because nothing he's ever done has made Stefan look like this. It's beautiful. It's like you don't care at all. Anyone would think you don't have her best interests at heart. That you want her to die a horrible, gruesome death. It's so easy to slide under Stefan's skin, to cut all the way through in a way that he just never bothers to protect himself from. Because nothing, absolutely nothing, could be better than making Stefan come to him. Making him think he has a choice. He loves the moral high ground. Let him see how rough the road can be. You wouldn't want that, would you? Stefan turns his head back. There's a quiver of angry tension at the edge of his jaw that's fucking delicious. Why are you doing this? He demands. But Damon just smiles, because he's never needed a reason. Oh, he's had good reasons before, but he's never needed them. Sometimes you just have to go wherever your whims took you, and his whims would have taken him so close. Stefan's mouth a breath away, and suddenly, all the more interesting for it. End scene.
Wow. Okay.
I'm telling you, these two.
Listen.
And that was published a day before this episode aired.
Oh my god.
Back in 2009.
That's beautiful.
Like, I love to think that this author watched this episode and was like, I fucking knew it. I knew it.
I am prescient.
I am a prophet.
My brain cells are massive. Fuck yeah.
It's great. Well, friends, be careful on Halloween.
Yeah.
As you know, obviously, there's vervain in the candy. Obviously. obviously. No, but for real, though, be careful. It's cold in most places around here.
Yeah, protect yourself.
Protect yourself. Tell your friends about the show.
Yeah.
If you're like me, enjoy Gossip Girl.
Yes.
And play Moonlighter, because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing when you're listening to this episode.
Hell yeah.
And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest...
Get bit.
Ooh.
Ow. Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.